Into the thick of it. Hey! Into the thick of it.
First find the AC, turn on, then adjust the temperature to L0. Then turn on the knob in the glove compartment. Turn the snowflakes outward. The glove compartment starts to cool. Turn on the low beam first. Keep the lights on. Then push the lever outwards. Turn on the high beam. Finally, lift the wiper lever inward. Keep it still for 2 to 3 seconds. So while spraying glass water, the automatic cleaning function of the headlights is turned on. Turn on the low beam first. Keep the lights on. Then push the lever outwards. Turn on the high beam. Finally, lift the wiper lever inward. Keep it still for 2 to 3 seconds. So while spraying glass water, the automatic cleaning function of the headlights is turned on. Turn on the low beam first. When leaving a parking space from the side, stare at the license plate of the car in front. Divide the license plate into two. As long as we can see half of the license plate. Turn the steering wheel all the way to the left to get out of the parking space safely. When exiting the parking space in the forward direction, when the driver's shoulders are aligned with the front of the car next to you, no matter where you turn the steering wheel, you can get out of the parking space safely. When reversing out of the parking space, when the rearview mirror is aligned with the front of the car next to it. At this time, turning the steering wheel will not scratch the car next to it. When leaving a parking space from the side, stare at the license. When driving at night, if the illumination angle of the car lights shifts, very easy to cause traffic accidents. First, drive the car to a dark place. Park close to the wall. Mark the horizontal position of the two headlights and the height of the headlights on the wall. After marking, start to reverse. Keep
Okay, so those were some business accounts that I've already curated. I have a document, it's probably about 15 pages long now, with businesses who use TikTok successfully. What I personally believe from my user experience and working with other clients is that they are using TikTok in an authentic way. I hate saying that word in terms of, it just sounds like a cliche, but what I believe is authentic to the platform and what they're doing to build a community, I guess you could say. And so those are just some of the businesses that we were just looking at while waiting for everyone to join the room. But that last one was a lawn mowing business. So they provide a service, I guess, but they have like a lawnmower. They have like a piece of equipment that is sort of the main feature of their account, and then the before and after effects of the videos. That transformational journey is really big on TikTok. I think people like, it's visually engaging, visually stimulating. People can see the authenticity of it and how it all sort of came together, start to finish. And so that's the power of TikTok as well, and that's what I love about it. And so I just want to start off by talking about, is TikTok right for my business? And this is a big thing that I'll talk to clients about, or in particular Clubhouse rooms where people are looking to start on TikTok, I guess you could say. For any business that's worth their salt, I guess you could say, a business that is already operating, already has a sales funnel, already has a social media marketing plan, you have to ask yourself, is TikTok right for my businesses? Where does TikTok fit into that existing plan? If you have none of them, then by all means, go all in on TikTok. You still got to understand how it fits into long-term branding and how does it ultimately fit into your sales funnel and your social media marketing plan. But my suggestion for businesses, again, who are just worth a bit of salt, and you have an existing business model, how you generate revenue, what your marketing tactics are, which I suspect heavily involve social media at the moment. Like, how do you bolt on TikTok to that? And the reason I ask that question is, right now, July 2021, TikTok is a lot more culturally relevant for marketing, I guess you could say. So a year ago, it was probably heavily still considered as a teenage dancing app, and I mean, even to this day, it still heavily is. It's gained a lot more attention, and it definitely has broken through the vast majority sort of barrier segment. If you think about like the innovation curve, how you got the innovators, and then the early adopters, and then you sort of got the, I think it's a first majority, last majority, but it's definitely in that last majority. We're probably more than, I think on the curve, bell curve, it's about 50%. And more like it's become more culturally relevant, I guess you could say, not only to just society, but businesses in general, professionals. Definitely is garnishing a different image. It's moving away from it's just a teenage dancing app, and it's become a more robust social media platform, if you like. And so, that's why I have these sessions. We're very excited to partner with businesses, and just this is a free resource for people to understand a little bit more about TikTok. And it's not so much about tactics, even though I do go into tactics. For me, my hope is that you're asking this question, is TikTok right for my business? The one thing I would just lay on top of that too is you need to understand what TikTok is. Now, what do I mean by that? TikTok is its own platform in its own right. Fundamentally, the main difference, not only from a technical point of view of how it is a different social media platform, but this is the secret sauce, this is why it's different, is the For You page. Like literally, that is the number one difference between TikTok and other social media platforms. If you have that curiosity, now you have the answer. Now, what do I mean by the For You page? It's a self-curated feed. It's a combination of a AI-driven algorithm, which is very sophisticated, that puts videos in front of people that it deems appropriate for that person to enjoy or engage, if you like. Now, the algorithm needs time to build that profile for you up, which is why I always suggest, if you haven't got a TikTok account already, step number one, which is you can go back and watch our part 1 series or video 1. Step 1 is download the app, create an account, and then just consume for 7 to 10 days. If you're not in a stage where you can appropriate time to creating videos straight off the bat, or you're just not comfortable with being on the camera, or you don't actually know what TikTok is, so you just want to observe for a bit, those are all valid responses, and those are all real life issues that I've encountered with clients and prospective clients. Just consuming content because you're understanding the platform, but also back to the For You page that I was talking about, you understand what the For You page is, right? So think about, I use this comparison, and I hope this allows you to see the difference of TikTok, right? Is that For You page is, you think about Instagram or Facebook, your feed, right, that we mindlessly scroll on, which is not a bad thing, I do that too. What is the content that is on that page? Who is the content of? Typically speaking, it is people that you follow, right? So you're in control. You self-create that, if you like, / sponsored posts or ads, if you like. So that's how businesses, right, in this day and age, July 2021, get in front of new audiences, is you pay to get into people's feeds, sponsors posts. Now, I don't have to explain that, I'm sure you've seen sponsored posts, or if they're really good videos, you haven't even noticed that they're sponsored, right? So they're getting more sophisticated. But the point of what I'm trying to make is getting in front of new audiences, businesses typically have to pay money to do that. There's very rare instances where you can grow business accounts organically, right? Unless you're a big business, and unless you post 10 videos a day for 2 years straight, like those are all possible, but it's low percentage, right? And so TikTok offers another alternative avenue for that to grow organically because of the For You page. So it's not just your followers. Like there's 2 streams in TikTok. There's your following, like Instagram and Facebook that I was just talking about. But then your For You page is a secondary stream which is self-curated, right? And what I mean by self-curated, it's dependent on the type of videos that you have been liking and posting and commenting on, and what the very sophisticated AI-driven algorithm thinks you will like. But it's forever changing. It's not stagnant. That's the thing, right? And that's the other competitive advantage. Anyway, so the reason why I explained the For You page is back to the question that I was asking was, is TikTok right for your business? Is that For You page is heavily dependent on the community engagement as well. So the AI-driven algorithm will curate your profile, but based off how people engage with your video will determine the amount of people that the video will be released to, if you like. So that's sort of the mindset that I want you guys to think about is, if you were to get in front of, what would you pay to get your business, right, in front of a new audience? What would you pay? Yeah, what's the price of that, right? If you understand how TikTok operates and what is on offer and how you can learn to storytell on the platform, you can literally grow your brand for free on TikTok. We're going to go through a couple of examples soon around businesses that have done that. And it truly is, I've just got my notes here, community engagement. TikTok, I believe in my spirit, in my being, in my user experience, being on the platform for 6 years, right? It's such a growing community and it's such a community engagement type model that if the community doesn't engage with your videos, then your videos are not going to be put out into a larger audience, because the initial group of people, right, have just decided or determined that I'm not going to engage with this video. Now, it could be a range of things. It could be I'm busy right now and, you know, they don't want to engage with your video. There could be that, which is why you need to continue to be consistent and allow the creative to just play out. You need to think about it like if you just post 5 videos, or not 5, maybe 1 or 2 or 3, TikTok's not going to know who your target audience is or what your business is about. You just haven't given enough information, right? So anyway, before you even consider TikTok, right, like obviously you are because you're here, my number one question would be, is TikTok right for my business, in the sense of I'm going to commit time to it. I'm going to understand what the For You page is. How do I then story tell on this platform? Because the other side of the coin is when you start creating videos, only you can tell the story of your business, or only your employees can tell the story of your business, because they're your number one stakeholder, right? Employees, customers, then potentially you, right? It's sort of a hierarchy, if you like. So they're going to be able to story tell on this platform, your business / you are going to be able to. So that's why I always ask, like, you know, is it right for my business? My overarching answer is yes, but the timing might be not right. The timing might be wrong. So there's a couple of things. I just always want to start off and just lay that foundation that right this second, like TikTok may not be right for your circumstances in terms of I don't have time to commit to it. I don't have the budget. I don't have the mental capacity, and those are all fine. But in terms of a macro, like if you're asking, is TikTok right for my business from a macro long-term point of view? Do I want to get clients in the future? Do I want to understand my future consumer? Do I want to understand how to get my content on a vertical form video? The answer is undoubtedly yes. It's always going to be yes, in my opinion, right? And so that's sort of step number one, is TikTok right for my business? And then another objection that clients, or when I'm prospecting clients, when they won't necessarily say this, right? Which is why I put this in there, because I think this is what it is they don't want to be in front of the camera. Like, you know, how do I overcome this? Like, oh, TikTok is this teenage dancing app. It's kind of silly and cringy and people dance and lip sync. And so how do I add value to that kind of context when that's not really who I am? And the answer to that is you don't have to do any of those things. Some of the accounts that we're going to look at in a sec literally do not have people dancing, lip syncing, or even faces in the shots. It's literally the product or the service or whatever it is that they're offering, right? They're adding value. They're giving free information. It's educational videos. They're pointing people in a direction that they want to go with, in the service that you provide, right? Or the product that you're selling. And so so that community engagement model, if people are getting value, they'll start to engage. They'll like, they'll comment, which is pretty rudimentary, but do you know what a duet is? If people start duetting your videos, people start stitching your videos. If people share your video external off the platform, TikTok tracks all this, right? So TikTok uses all these metrics to go, okay, people are engaging with your video. Let's just spread it out to a couple more people on that For You page and see what happens. And so that's where these TikTok viral videos come in, where, you know, people can get successful very, very fast, or they can get a viral video if you like. But then what do they do with it from there? And so that's typically one of the traps or the downfalls of TikTok, is people are getting on the app to try and get that viral video just because, for whatever reason, they just want a viral video. And then that's it. They don't really have a strategy, right? And so back to the statement, though, I don't want to be in front of the camera. How do I overcome this? Well, we're going to look at a couple of accounts in a sec that literally there is nobody in the video. There's no voice, there's no dancing, there's no lip syncing. It's literally just their product or their service, and they're adding value through educational videos or free tidbits around services and products and stuff like that. So just have a think, just let that sit for a second, just have a think about how that applies to either your product and your business. But then back to the original question, how does this even fit into my overarching business model? Yeah, how does it fit into my sales funnel? How does it also fit into my existing social media marketing plan? And so, but I would ask myself, if I were you, I would ask myself those questions before I would even consider TikTok. But remembering the different, and the other thing too, which I haven't written down here, but I'll just summarize, is the For You page. The For You page is the secret sauce of TikTok. That is the number one difference between you know, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, is that it has a secondary stream and it's organic reach. So depending on the community and who engages with your video, that's how you get on that For You page, right? But that's a bit of a technical discussion too, and so I don't want to go too far down that path. But just to summarize, because I can see Skye just joined us, which I'm going to introduce her in a sec. You know, the two things you need to ask before you actually start on TikTok is TikTok right for my business? Like, how do I use TikTok within my existing social media marketing plan, but then also as a sales funnel, where does it fit into, right? And then the second thing is you need to just understand how the For You page works. So that's sort of I like to start with those rudimentary questions around, you know, is TikTok right for my business? And why would you do that? And I have a lot of free resources that you can go back on our website and you can download a free guide, or there's other webinars like this that we do that has information and it's very granular about, you know, is TikTok right for me? So I just saw Skye joined us. There she is.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. What
Awesome.
time is it where you are?
It is almost 6:30 p.m.
On Friday, what are we today? Is Thursday? It'd be Thursday for you, hey?
Yes, Thursday.
It's 11 a.m., 11:30 a.m. in Australia, where we are.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at, I mean, it's perfect time though. I'm like, okay, I get to have dinner after this.
Thanks so much for joining, taking up time to chat today. I'm really excited about hearing a little bit more about your origin story, not only as a business owner, you know, social media marketing manager, but how you've been able to harness TikTok for your own purposes for your business. And usually what I do is to allow the audience to get to know you a bit quicker is I have this 5 fast facts segment where we go through really quickly. So are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you, okay, so I'm gonna ask the 5 questions. Ready? Are you a coffee or a tea person?
I would say I'm a tea person because I love like iced chai lattes. So I think tea to be for me.
Yeah, that's, I don't know if coffee is a big thing in the US. I think it depends on what area you're from too. But in Australia, generally speaking, in the metro cities, people are quite snobby with coffee. So that's why I asked that question. Question number 2, did you grow up in a small or large family? Or can you hear me? bit choppy on my end.
I would say like my immediate family is small, so I was an
Oh, we lost her. So we just lost Skye there. I don't know if that was my connection or hers. Hopefully she can join us again. Oh, let's come back in.
This might work better. This is my phone. My computer is being weird. Is this better?
That's so much better. Thank you very much. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yes, I can hear you. It's so much better. Okay, so we did coffee already.
Yeah.
So did I grow up in a small or large family? So my family, my immediate family, so my parents, we're a small family. It was the three of us for 12 years. Then my sister came along when I was 12. So it was now there's four of us, but we were a small family, super tight knit. But I'm Hispanic, so we have a really big family on that side. So, you know, like cousins that I don't even know, you know, stuff like that. So that family's big and stuff, but just my immediate family's pretty small.
Got you. Yeah, right. I also, thanks for sharing that. And I also, I think I read in your profile somewhere that I think it's your dad. He's been in, I think it's production or video production of some sort. And that's how you kind of learnt a lot of your sort of skill at the moment, I guess you could say. That's awesome. Question number 3, do you prefer cats or dogs and why?
Okay, so I'm allergic to all animals, funny enough.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, but I am getting a dog in like 10 days or so. So I would say I'm a dog person if I have to pick. Like I love animals. I'm just allergic. So, but it's more so like if I'm acclimated to the pet, cause like my parents have a cat. So like, I'm not as allergic to him as I am to like all animals. But so I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that I'm not as allergic to my dog once I get like used to having her around and stuff. But I would say I'm a dog person.
Gotcha. Righto. Yeah, no, it's definitely one or the other, right? So you're a dogs person. That's good to know. Question number 4.
Yeah.
The question that I usually ask is, what's one thing that people love about being Australian? But I'm going to flip that on its head. And what's one thing you love about being American, I guess?
I don't know so much American, but like more, I would say living in California, we can say I love like that, the networking and that like everybody's like not everybody, but like you can find people like really creative over here, like everywhere. Like I'm pretty close to Los Angeles, and I know that's like a hot spot that everybody knows. And so, you know, like I'm in a place where it's very common to do things like what I do in freelancing and things like that. So it's really cool that not only can I network online, but that in person I can network like that as well because of the area that I live in.
Wow. That's so awesome. And very important in your line of work, like you're saying, freelancing, is you want to have relationships that you can either refer business to or draw on as well. So I really like that answer. That's really good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Question number 5. Are you an Apple or an Android person?
I'm all Apple. You could I have my AirPods, I have my Apple Watch, I have my phone, my computer, anything Apple comes out with, I'm like so biased. Like I'll buy it and I'll like vouch for it. And I don't know, like, you know, it's literally like, it's like a religion, you know, like I'm like, oh, Apple everything. So yeah, I'm an Apple person.
I got you. My mom's exactly the same. And you can't talk to her about Apple because she is just one-eyed, like Apple everything. Like she just, you know, and she talks about it's really convenient, right? She loves it because I just don't have to think about anything. It just works for her. And I love that.
For sure.
That's so cool. Hey, thanks for that.
Of course.
So again, that was sort of just to get to know you a little bit more, but you know, 3 minutes, I guess, for an origin story before we get into TikTok in particular.
Okay, perfect.
You know, you're a full-time social media marketing manager. You specialize in helping businesses understand and monetize social media. You have a particular focus on Instagram and TikTok, where I wrote in the notes here, you have 12,000 followers on TikTok, but I just saw this morning you have 14,000.
I do.
And I think that's like less than 6 months, right? So, you know, maybe just start like, you know, how you decided that, first of all, because you're a free, you run your own business at the moment, but I've seen some of your videos that you didn't always do that. So maybe just talk about before you started your business and then now that you've launched your business, like, you know, what you're doing in that space.
Yeah. So as you said before, my dad is in the production world. And so that kind of opened my eyes to like just being creative and stuff like that. So that being said, I always knew that I wanted to do something that doesn't necessarily require a degree. So going to school is kind of hard for me because I was like, I'm a creative, like, this isn't really for me. I just graduated. I finished just because I wanted to finish, but like, that long story short, so I started wanting to do film because my dad was a producer. I like the anything on a computer, so I wanted to be an editor. I wanted to be an editor and producer, so they call it like a predator. They say like a predator, is it what they say?
Wow. Okay.
And so I wanted to do both. And because I love organization and I love editing, so that's what I wanted to do there. And then I went to like in a class, an Adobe, like with Adobe, I, paid for a class to do, what do you call it? Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yep.
And that was great and all. But then I kind of switched my direction when I started to do social media 3 years ago. I just approached not a random company, but a company that I was working across the street from. And I used to go get acai bowls from them all the time. And which acai, I don't know if acai bowls are really big there, but they're huge here in California.
They're massive here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, oh, like, this is a cute little shop. I want to like run their social media. So I offered my services to them for like $20 an hour, which, was my starting point. And they're like, yeah, sure. So I was like, okay, cool. Started off doing that. It was more so of a side hustle for me for, 2.5 years. Then I was working at an agency right before I quit that was the job I had before I quit. And I more so, it really just opened my eyes because it was a small agency. There was like maybe 20 of us. I was the youngest person that worked there. When I got there, I was, I think I was 20. And then I was the only girl, and I
Wow.
like killed it on the phones. Like I was like getting people to, to buy things. I was like good at selling because I was creating relationships with people versus being like, you should buy this. And I'm like getting mad that they wouldn't buy it. Like I was actually caring about these people. So that kind of opened my eyes to like having confidence in myself. So I was like, I can do this on my own. And so fast forward to when I quit my job, I was like, I had planned it. Obviously, I was like, okay, social media is my expertise. Let's go with that. And so that's when I quit my job. And I just saw the potential in TikTok, and I was like, I'm gonna blow up my business with TikTok, and that's how I'm gonna do it because that's the biggest platform, like that, the easiest platform I would say to just overnight success. Like there really like is no such thing as overnight success. We know there's a lot behind it, but that is the easiest way. So I was like, I know how to edit. I have a background with that. I'm quick with that. It's pretty easy. I know social media, so I'm going to use my strengths and build my business that way.
Wow. I love that. Thanks for sharing all that. So many questions. I want to go back to where you approached the business and said to them, because I thought you were going to say, oh, I just work for them for free. But you basically said, no, this is my rate. And they just accepted that? Like how did that conversation go?
Well, what I did is I kind of built like a mock Instagram for them because they had like 5 posts on their Instagram at that time because they were pretty new.
Gotcha.
But he actually ran a coffee shop like 2 doors down. So like he's like an entrepreneur too, but like a local
Gotcha.
opens up businesses nearby. And I'd seen him because he worked across the street, but like we never like talked, but he recognized me and like kind of knew me. And so I basically just like gave them a what do you call it? Not like an outline of what I would do and stuff like that and what I would do for them. And and he was like, yeah, sure. Like again, $20 an hour. Like I just said I would do what I could because I was working full time and I was going to school. So it was like, we didn't have like a contract or anything at that point because this was just like me helping them out and they were just paying me $20 an hour. And the thing is that I've always been pretty tech savvy. So $20 an hour really wasn't that much because I can get quite a bit done in an hour when I'm pretty quick with things. If I was just beginning, then it probably would have been more, but like I was able to get stuff done fast and it wasn't like super stressful about like, oh, well, like it turned out to be $1,000 that month. Like it wasn't, I know it sounds like a lot, but it wasn't at the end of the day,
I got you. Yeah. No, I love that. And I think it was more for me just because I'm sure anyone who watches this or listens to this, kind of in your shoes, like, oh, okay, they're working in a full-time job, something that they're passionate about, but not sure if they want to stay there long-term. Like you just decided that I have these skills and I'm going to sort of test them out, whether you knew or not at the time. I think it was very proactive of you is the word I was looking for. And I think that can really help people. And, you didn't go in and say, I'll work for free. I was like, no, this is my rate. Anyway, so I love that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So fast forward now to your business. So I think it's about 6 months since you've sort of been on your own now.
Yeah, I think like late February, early March, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the clients that you work? Well, first of all, dovetailing off the back of what you just said. So how do you now find new clients? Or when you started with your business, how did you go down that path of finding clients?
And I really I truly believe in like creating genuine relationships with people. So like, you know, whether that's Clubhouse or whether that's TikTok or Instagram, like whatever your strengths are and like whatever you enjoy more, I think like as a social media manager is what you should choose to create your relationships on. But like just talking to people, like recommending things that I think as a social media manager in the beginning, because I had more time at that time, you know, so I didn't have any clients. And I was like, okay, like I have this time. I'm going to act like I'm still working a full-time job. I'm going to spend this time to build relationships with people and not just like copy and paste a sales message. Like I'm not going to do that. So I would just create these relationships, and then people would either ask me for like one-off projects, or then they would ask for a phone call to like discuss services for like a monthly rate, or, you know, things like that. So that's kind of how I found my clients, is just by building those relationships and building trust, because trust is so important in sales. And I think people forget about that. It's like these people need to trust you in order to say yes to you. Like it's not even about the money. It's that they're trusting you with their business as a social media manager. So like they want to grow and they want to trust that you're going to do that for them and care about their business just as much as they do.
100%. No, I love what you're saying. And to me, when I think about it, and this might be a nice segue into TikTok, is just the basic sort of sales funnel model, or the marketing model, which is sort of awareness, consideration, and conversion, right? So in terms of that trust, you want to build that awareness before they even consider you, right? So I love like your approach around that. And so I guess in terms of TikTok, like how do you go about TikTok and offering that as a service for your clients at the moment?
So currently, if they're not local, which I haven't had any local clients reach, I mean, I have a plan for that. But the thing is like TikToks take time to record. Like there's no doubt about it. It's time consuming. I set aside at least like 2 to 3 hours when I record content, you know? So what I do with TikTok for my clients that I do TikTok for is I more so will strategize and be like a consultant for them more so. Because any trends, I will give them their monthly content that they should be recording, whether they want to content batch, or I want to do like a couple a week, but that these need to be done at some point by the end of July or something like that. They need to be given to me so I can obviously check over them and stuff. But it's more so like a doc with us that we lay out, and I kind of like write a rough outline for them. Not so much a script, but like, you know, it depends on the client, how tech savvy they are too. It's like, okay, who am I working with, and like how specific do I need to be, and can I give them creative freedom, or do I need to like, you know, direct, like do movements, like zoom in at this part and things like that. So I obviously ask them, like, have you ever made a TikTok? Like, you know, like let me see the TikToks you've made and stuff like that. But I more so make a doc, and then I will tell them that I'll send them trends each week, because trends are important, you know, and stuff like that. You want to stay current. You don't want your business to be outdated and things like that. So I'll be like, hey, like you need to like every 2 days, like be ready to record some TikToks, because you don't want to miss out on these trends, and you don't need to get on every trend. Like don't feel pressured, but I'm going to keep sending them to you, and I expect you to do like 2 out of the 7 that I sent you, you know, whatever you can either come up with a better idea for, or you like the idea better that I sent you, or something like that, or you're just available at that time. You need to stop something, or you need to like work it into your work day, you know, in order to do these trends. So it's more, again, like a consulting aspect. And then of course I help them with the editing process, if that's something they want. But not everybody wants that. Again, some people are tech savvy and they just need the strategy behind it, and to be guided in the right direction. And some people like really just don't really want to touch TikTok, and they just want to record their own videos.
Yeah, 100%. And so many of those things I can relate to, particularly the one where people are not tech savvy. And so trying to explain to them to make the video themselves isn't just not going to work for them. So I love what you're saying about either you will have a full encompassing like services of, I'm going to do everything for you, I'm going to find the trends, I'm actually going to shoot the video for you, or you might just give a strategy, you know, if they're already tech savvy.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's really cool. So I was going to ask, and this is another, you might relate to this question as well, based off, you know, the people that you talk to or some of your clients. One of the big objections I have is, isn't TikTok a teenage dancing app? Like I think, and I'm empathetic when business owners, right, when they're saying, oh, like, what is this app? Isn't it like, my teenage daughters or sons or whatever are on it? It's a dancing app. Don't they just do silly like cringe videos, lip syncing and stuff like that? Like, what's your response? Like when you get asked, particularly from clients, because it's business, right? So what's your response to that?
I think I truly, like, with my clients and like with potential clients, whatever, I'm just like myself. So like, and I'm not like, I don't know, like at that point, truly what I say to them is I'm like, have you been on TikTok? And if they're like, oh no, like I don't have the app. And I'm like, well, do me a favor and download the app for 2 days. I said, like download the app for 2 days. And I'd be like, I was like, if you want to hire me to do TikTok for you, you're going to need to download this app anyways. And I'm like, so download the app for 2 days and start liking things that you do like. And like, like scroll past things that you don't. I was like, spend 30 minutes, and I was like, guarantee, first of all, it's not going to be 30 minutes. It's going to be more than that. I was like, but tell me what your For You page looks like in 2 days after you've been liking things. And so I've done that with clients, and then they're like, but like, usually they don't go do it, but they'll be like, oh, really? Like, it's just more so like a question. And I'm like, and I tell them like TikTok's algorithm is not like any algorithm we have, like in other social media platform. Like Instagram's getting there, like they're trying to make updates and stuff like that, of course, but TikTok had this from the beginning, so I tell them this, and I'm just like, I tell them like, this For You page like is insane. Like, it's great, this algorithm and stuff. So that's kind of like how I combat that and tell them. And then they'll ask me more questions of like, oh, so how does it work? And then I'll tell them like, of course, like likes, shares, comments, like what time that they watch it, stuff like that. And then they like, again, I like almost geek out on it so that they're like, oh my gosh, like, wait, there's so much to it. I thought it was just a dancing app. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not, and it's like my way of just basically giving information and knowledge, because I truly believe when people think like, oh, TikTok's just that, or like social media managers just post content, like, things like that. It's like a lack of knowledge, and that's not a bad thing. Like, you just have to educate these people. So I more so like would like to educate them rather than just like getting mad. I'm like, it's not their fault that they think these things, like they just don't know.
I got you, and I've come up with a bit of a statement too, because I used to be like that, say a year ago, when literally not a lot of businesses knew about TikTok. Say this time last year, I come up with a statement for myself: is I speak from I'm not trying to convince anyone. I'm just speaking with conviction, right? Because it's easy to get down that path of why can't you get this? But I like what you said is you get it, and you just want to educate the market. So I really like your approach. That's really awesome, and so. Yeah, I was just going to dovetail on the back of what you were saying. There's a few studies that I just have on reference. So depending on who the businesses are, if they're very analytical, I'll send them like the research based off, the user base and that are using it. But the one stat that I always pull out is 51% of TikTok users earn more than $75,000 a year. And so I just let that sink.
I like that one. I'm gonna need to use that.
Oh, use it.
You need to send me the study.
I'll send you, and so it's actual reference. I can send you. They're called No Good Marketing in New York.
Okay.
I'll send you like the actual where it comes from,
awesome.
And then I send that to them as well. And so I keep repeating that statement. And then depending on where it goes, like I will then continue the conversation to go. Imagine, your business in front of these, like, are you trying to say that I don't want to get in front of those type of people? So there's multiple conversations, but that's the one statement that I'll just like, I just put that there in front of them and wait for their response.
So smart. Yes, exactly.
So that's cool. Thanks for sharing that. I've actually got some videos here that I want to get your weigh in on. So TikTok videos that they're business videos. And just to get your view on, what they've done well, particularly for because some of the clients I work with, they don't do dancing videos, they don't do lip syncing videos. I've seen in your feed too that you do a range, right? Because you're just you do a lot of like videos where you're just talking to the camera, and you're just pointing to like a text or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So very similar. But some of these accounts, they just don't have any of that stuff, and they have like built a bit of a community and an audience, right? So I don't really have their stats on, what are the business conversions and stuff like that, but it's just more like awareness, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just going to share my screen. Share sound. Let me know if, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to click on one video and run it through. Let me know,
Okay.
and then I'll finish, and let me know if you hear them. Okay, so you can hear the music. So this account, so he's based in Sydney. I'm in Brisbane, so we're like 10 hours drive apart from each other, but we both live in Australia. And just for metrics' sake, like, I'm not trying to say, oh, wow, look at his following, but I mean, this guy is a local mowing service, right? In a metro city.
Mm-hmm.
And I suspect he hasn't paid like, an agency to do this. He's just got his phone out while he's actually doing, performing his service, and he just records.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
And look at some of the views, like 25,000,
Yeah.
29,000,
6.9
million. So let's click on, say, let's look at the one 6.9 million first, and then I want to get your take, what you think,
Okay.
top 3 things that he did.
Okay.
Did you get that? Do you want to watch it again?
No, we're good. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first few things when was that posted? 7/5. I mean, a popular sound, first of all. So, I mean, that can be good or bad, but obviously for him, it worked in his favor. So that's a good one. Something that people recognize. I want to say that was less than 15 seconds. Or 15 seconds. And then it's also like, it's like the ASMR thing. Like it's not the sound. It's like, it's where like people love to see things that like of cleaning or, it makes them feel like this like certain way. So I definitely think that's that. So I would think that's like those 3 things. Like it's quick, it's a sound that people are familiar with, they're comfortable with it, people love comfortability, and it's the fact that it's like, people like to see the cleanliness of whatever he just did.
100%.
So I definitely those few things.
I love that you started with trending audio, because that is just the number one thing, right? The number one for every single video, for any businesses that are watching this or listening to this later, is you want to make sure that you attach any form of video, but then even that, you want to attach a trending video, right? And I'm just looking at some of like his hashtags and stuff like that. But I mean, even if you would just start with the audio, like that is just straight up, the audio smashed it. Tegan, who's also joined us, said in the comments, she just wrote a comment, looks like he's using the satisfying trend and home improvement trend, both really popular areas of TikTok.
Exactly, yeah.
The home improvement one's pretty big. No, that's all. And I mean, and when you think about from a business point of view, the engagement, 654 comments, I can't click in there, but it just shows you like a metric, a data point of people are engaging in some way, shape or form with your brand.
Yes.
I'm just going to click on a random one here.
Uzi, not again.
So for that one, that's definitely okay. So there's like this trick, and I don't know if you've heard of it. I mean, I'm pretty sure you probably have, but it's like doing a really short video, so it's watched multiple times because TikTok's algorithm knows, like, the amount of time people have watched it, have they watched it fully through, and how many times do they watch it. So it's like that's so quick that you probably like wouldn't even realize that you watched it like 3 times in order to see that. Yeah. And so I think that would be the main thing with that one. And as you're scrolling through his whole feed, like the thing is with any social media platform, people like, and this is something I feel like is underrated. People like want to know what to expect from you. And people know from this account, he's posting like similar things. Like, well, obviously they're all within the same niche. And so people are comfortable following him because they know what they're going to get from him. And they're not going to get this unexpected thing on their feed that they don't care about or they don't want. So they're following him because they like this, and he's giving that to them multiple times. So, I mean, as you're scrolling through his feed, that's all he posts. And again, that's good because that's his audience. His audience likes it. So he figured it out and he's not trying to change it.
I love what you're saying there. And I totally agree. Underrated. Like it's what you're doing is you're actually thinking about the end user, the people that are watching this content, how are they feeling? So I like what you said. It was very predictable, and it makes it creates that trust relationship like you were talking about before, right?
Yeah.
So here's another person. This guy is a mortgage man, I guess you could say. So he's a service provider. He's based in the US. And again, just looking at some of the metrics of his videos, right? Like 178,000 views on a video. Like this is like the value proposition, I guess, that part of the conversation I have with business owners is, what would you pay for that type of exposure in terms of awareness, consideration of your brand, right? So I'm just going to click on this first one and let's see what he says.
So everybody's looking to make more money and they're wondering how. You can work harder, you can work smarter, you can build a team, you can be more efficient. But the number one way to truly make more money is to focus on increasing your value. That's right, your value. So how do you increase your value? You must focus on and improve your skill sets. Let me give you an example.
I'll just stop him there. So straight up, no dancing, like we were talking about before, no lip syncing, and he doesn't even have a trending audio. So, these type of examples is what I try, when I get the objection about, well, isn't it a dancing app? I can just, if I'm in front of them, I can show them, right? Like I can go, well, look, let's just look at these accounts and look what other people are doing in the industry, right? And I mean, and then the other thing is value, like educational material, like this, can I rush my appraisal? That's like, you could argue free information within the industry, right?
Exactly.
Here's
Yeah,
another.
with him too.
You go.
Yeah, with him too. Also, like the thing is, people love videos on how to make money. Like that's a niche of like, so like him getting that video, it's like, oh, everybody, like they're going to send it to their friends and they're going to send it like, oh, like they're going to save it for later. Like if I look at my Pinterest analytics, cause I post on Pinterest and like, if I post something on like how to make money, it shows me what boards people like save it to. And people like have like money making boards and they have like 178 pins or something to it. And I'm like, damn, these people really save a lot of stuff on how to make money, so that right there. And he has a hook, that's his hook. He's like, you want to know how to make money? Like, let me tell you.
Yeah. Talk to us about the hook. For anyone who's watching this later may not understand what a hook is. What are you talking about by hook?
Yeah. So a hook is basically you have like 3 seconds to catch somebody's attention, especially with the attention span that we all have nowadays, because everything's so quick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like the best way to explain a hook is just examples. So like, do you want to know how to make money? Do you want to know how to go viral on TikTok? Let me show you the best way to go viral on TikTok. Let me tell you a secret that nobody knows in the social media industry. Like, basically making somebody feel like they're going to know something like they're going to gain value from, basically, like, and just in general that they want to listen to the rest of this video. And he did it really well in that video, like going down, my gosh, I don't even know what it would be, but like, he like kept going of like, do you want to know how to make money? Well, you have to provide value. Let me tell you how to provide value. Now, let me give you an example. Like he did a really good job of that. So it's like people probably still have questions, but he answered the questions that people would ask, in the form of like what they would ask. He's not like, here's an example of how to make money and like went backwards. He went in the proper way. And there is any proper way, but like the proper way that we're like, I think our brains think of like, okay, that's, the questions that you're asking and he's answering them. And it's like, this guy knows what I'm thinking. Like he already knows the answers to my questions.
Yeah.
So yeah.
100%.
But yeah, the hook is really important.
I love that. And the other thing, like that, in terms of timing, you want to start off your video with that. So generally speaking, when people are just mindlessly scrolling, it captures them, and then it just allows them a bit of some breathing time to go, oh, let me just watch this, and then all of a sudden I've just watched the whole thing.
Exactly. And for anybody who's watching too, like, I mean, I should do it every single time, but sometimes it's hard to set my phone down and do it because like there's stuff in my background and stuff. But if you can add movement to the first 3 seconds of your video too, if you can like come into to the frame, that will do so much better. If it's like, hey, like, do you want to make money? Instead of just like, hey, do you want to make money? Like that's going to do so much better because people are going to, again, be sitting and scrolling and they're going to be like, oh, hold on. Like, where is this girl coming from?
I don't want to miss this. Hang on, let me watch this.
Yeah, exactly. And the more excited you seem about it, the more excited they're going to seem about it. So that's also another little tip with the hook.
No, that's awesome. That's really cool. One more profile. So I'm guessing these guys are like a mechanic, if you like. So you could kind of argue, in society standards, what's a mechanic doing on TikTok, right? But I think they're very smart that we're just going to go to some of their videos in a sec, is they just provide really, really simple information for free, right? And so again, I don't really have the analytics behind their account in terms of, is it bringing them more business? Like, are people clicking on the link in their bio?
Yeah.
You know, what are their metrics? But again, as an example, when I'm talking to clients, you know, it could be like a mechanic, and I can show them the profile and go, well, what would you pay for the video, the top right corner? What would you pay for the 2.6 million people looking at your brand, your profile, what you're about, right? So I'm just going to click on this one here, and then I'd love to hear, like, you know, your thoughts around how, you know, they created the video really well for TikTok.
When leaving a parking space from the side, stare at the license plate of the car in front. Divide the license plate into two. As long as we can see half of the license plate. Turn the steering wheel all the way to the left to get out of the parking space safely. When exiting the parking space in the forward direction. When the driver's shoulders are aligned with the front of the car next to you. No matter where you turn the steering wheel, you can get out of the parking space safely. When reversing out of the parking space. When the rearview mirror is aligned with the front of the car next to it. At this time, turning the steering wheel will not scratch the car next to it.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. I know, for me, okay, so with this, I think it's an industry that is like it's like something that somebody really knows about or doesn't know at all. So I think that's where they really get people, is because, like, I mean, I'm looking at their other stuff that they put on there too, like not just like stuff like that, but like just other videos of I don't know let me see. I was gonna see with auto headlight cleaning function, how to turn on the refrigeration function, and, you know, like things like that again, you either know a lot about this or you don't. It's like hacks, like people love like life hacks. This is like car hacks. And so and this is super shareable content also, and not only that, but it's broken down to where anybody can understand it, like whether you just started driving at, I mean, here in America it's 15, like you can get, or 15 and a half, you can get your permit. So whether you're 15 or you're 65, whatever you are, you know, you can understand what they're saying. It's not like, oh, when like the hood of like blah blah blah, you know, like it's like when your review mirror, like or your what do you call it, your side mirror, like everybody knows what their side mirror is if you're driving, like that's understandable. And it breaks it down into like steps and stuff like that, and it's not super like, okay, wait, like hold on, what do I need to do, you know? And again, that's savable content. So it's like if somebody like didn't want to watch that full thing right that second, they can just save that and they're going to go back, and it's never going to like that information is always going to be useful. So it's not like you're going to save it and it's going to go out of like, I'm only going to be able to value that for a week. Like, no, if you ever need to do that with your car, pull up that video, you know?
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And I mean, the other thing that I love about this particular type of video is it speaks into the objection of a business owner who, one, is not comfortable in front of the camera, or two, doesn't want their face or their image or a particular person to be the image of their brand. This is a great example where the voice is automated. It's not even someone's voice.
Yeah. Yeah, which is amazing. I mean, like, and that's the beauty of like, if you're stressed about like, oh, well, like, what if I'm out of town and I can't film a video? Like, okay, well, have somebody else in the shop do it, you know, like just tell them like, oh, can you like take a video of like how to turn this blah, blah, blah on, and then I'll edit it wherever you're at, you know, like, or you have your social media manager do it for you if that's who you send it to and stuff. So it's not as stressful of like one person. Like for me, it's just me. So if I'm not in the video, who's going to do it, you know?
Yeah. I love that. No, that's, And again, I guess just to wrap it up, like this is the reason why I love TikTok, is it's so dynamic. Like there's so many different avenues, you know, if businesses are looking to implement TikTok, they've got to understand if it's right for them for starters. But then second of all, the strategy is just multi-layered. Like there's so many approaches to it. And so thank you very much, Skye, for joining us today. It was awesome to finally meet face to face and catch up.
Yes, I know.
I love chatting to people about TikTok. If anyone who watches this or listens to this later, they want to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
Instagram or email. All my socials are the same. Instagram's the easiest because it's the best like DMing platform if you want to message me. My email's hello@managedbyskye, so super simple. If you have any questions or anything like that, whether that's questions about TikTok or inquiring about services, whatever it is, will respond usually to DMs and messages within like 24 to 48 hours. So that's the best way.
Awesome. hello@managedbyskye.com and managed by Skye on Instagram. Thank you very much, Skye. I enjoyed catching up with you. Hopefully we can chat again soon. All the best.
Yes, of course. Well, have a great day.
You too. Thank you very much.
Bye.
See ya.